5 shocking ocean mysteries that baffle scientists. What if I told you that right now, as you're watching this video, somewhere beneath the waves, nature is rewriting the rules of reality itself? We know more about distant galaxies than the depths of our own oceans, and what's hiding down there is making our best scientists question everything they thought they knew. Killer whales are performing surgical operations that would make a heart surgeon jealous. Ancient monuments older than human civilization are sitting on the ocean floor. And somewhere in the Pacific, a sound louder than a volcanic eruption echoed once through the depths and then vanished forever. These aren't stories from science fiction. They're happening right now, and they're about to change how you see our planet forever.
Here's the terrifying truth. We've explored less than 5% of our oceans. That means 95% of our planet remains as mysterious to us as an alien world. And in those unexplored depths, phenomena are unfolding that challenge every scientific law we thought was unbreakable. What you're about to discover isn't just fascinating, it's potentially life-changing. Because these mysteries don't just baffle scientists, they hint at forces and intelligences operating on our planet that we never suspected existed. Each story we're about to tell could fundamentally alter humanity's understanding of life, intelligence, and our place in this universe. Mystery 1. The orca's serial killers, the discovery that rewrote marine biology. Dr. Alison Towner will never forget the first time she saw it. Standing on a South African beach in 2017, staring at the carcass of a massive great white shark, she felt her understanding of ocean life crumble. "I've studied sharks for 20 years, she told reporters, her voice shaking. "Nothing in my education prepared me for this. It looked like someone had performed surgery with laser precision." 2 killer whales, port and starboard, had just declared war on the ocean's apex predators, and they were winning. The surgical precision that defies nature. Picture this: a 15-foot great white shark, ruler of the seas for 400 million years, suddenly flipped upside down like a helpless patient on an operating table. These orcas have discovered something that should be impossible. They can paralyze sharks by inducing tonic immobility, then extract only the liver with cuts so precise they rival medical scalpels. Marine biologist Chris Fallows described watching this happen in real time. "I watched in absolute horror and fascination. The orca held the shark for 15 minutes until it drowned, then opened it up like it had done this 1,000 times before. My hands were literally shaking as I filmed it."
The ecosystem collapse no one saw coming. But here's what's keeping marine biologists awake at night. Great white sharks, creatures that survived the extinction of dinosaurs, are now fleeing entire regions of the ocean. Places that hosted thriving shark populations for millennia are now barren. We're witnessing the collapse of food chains that took millions of years to establish, and it's happening in real time. Dr. Towner put it bluntly: we're seeing an intelligence in these orcas that we never recognized before. They've learned to kill the unkillable, and they're spreading this knowledge. What happens when apex predators become prey? We have no idea. The bottom line: 2 whales have single-handedly disrupted millions of years of evolution, proving that intelligence in the ocean operates on levels we're only beginning to understand. But here's the question that should terrify you. If orcas can learn to surgically dissect great whites, what else are they capable of learning? And what happens when this behavior spreads to orca populations worldwide?
Mystery 2. The bloop. The sound that shouldn't exist. The moment science faced the impossible. Dr. Christopher Fox was having a routine day at NOAA in 1997 when his equipment detected something that made his blood run cold. "I played the recording 3 times before I believed it was real," he later recalled. The sound was so loud, so organic, yet so impossible that my first thought was that our equipment was malfunctioning. What he'd discovered would haunt oceanographers for decades. A sound louder than any creature that has ever lived, yet undeniably biological in nature.
The volume that breaks all rules. To understand the bloop's impossibility, imagine this. The loudest sound ever produced by a living creature comes from blue whales at 188 decibels. The bloop registered at levels that would require a creature the size of several city blocks. We're talking about something that would make a blue whale look like a goldfish. Dr. Fox described the moment he calculated the required size. I ran the numbers 4 times. Whatever made this sound would have to be larger than any animal that has ever existed on Earth. But the acoustic signature, it was organic. It was alive.
The silence that followed. Here's what makes this mystery truly chilling. Despite decades of continuous ocean monitoring with equipment far more advanced than what detected the original bloop, nothing like it has ever been heard again. It's as if something massive announced itself to the planet for one moment in 1997, then disappeared back into the abyss. Marine acoustics expert Dr. Kate Stafford summed up the scientific community's frustration. We have hydrophones listening to every corner of the ocean 24/7. If something that large was moving around, we'd hear it. The fact that we haven't is almost more disturbing than the original sound itself. The bottom line: something impossibly large and undeniably alive spoke once from the deepest parts of our ocean, then vanished without a trace. So here's the question that should make you look at the ocean differently. What if the bloop wasn't a random sound, but a message? And what if whatever sent it is still down there, waiting?
Mystery 3: The Impossible Underwater Monuments. The discovery that rewrote human history. Kihachiro Aratake thought he was going on a routine dive off the coast of Japan in 1987. Instead, he discovered something that would split the archaeological community in half and challenge everything we know about human civilization. At first, I thought it was a natural rock formation, Aratake recalled years later. But as I swam closer, I realized I was looking at something that couldn't exist. Perfect 90-degree angles, steps carved with mathematical precision, ceremonial chambers that seemed designed for purposes I couldn't fathom. I felt like I'd discovered an alien city. The precision that defies time. Professor Masayaki Kimura dedicated his career to studying what became known as the Yonaguni Monument. After decades of research, his conclusions sent shockwaves through academia. Nature doesn't create architecture. What I found down there shows evidence of tool marks, deliberate design, and engineering sophistication that predates known civilization by thousands of years. The structure isn't just large, it's massive beyond comprehension. Imagine the Pentagon, but carved from solid stone and sitting 60 feet underwater. The precision of the angles, the complexity of the chambers, the sheer scale of the construction would challenge modern engineering techniques.
The timeline that breaks everything. Here's the part that makes archaeologists lose sleep. If the Yonaguni Monument is artificial, it was built when that area was above sea level, making it at least 12,000 years old. That's older than Stonehenge, older than the pyramids, older than any known advanced civilization. Dr. Robert Schock, a geologist who studied the site extensively, put it in perspective. If we accept that this is artificial construction, we have to rewrite human history. We're looking at evidence of advanced engineering from a time when humans were supposedly living in caves and learning to farm. The bottom line: underwater monuments around the world suggest that advanced civilizations existed thousands of years before we thought human civilization began. But here's the mind-bending question. If these monuments are real, who built them? And what happened to the civilizations that created architecture we can barely comprehend today?
Mystery 4: The Bermuda Triangle, when reality
gets weird. The pattern that defies statistics. Lieutenant Chanos Taylor was an experienced pilot with over 2,500 flight hours when he led Flight 19 on what should have been a routine training mission in 1945. His last transmission still haunts aviation experts. "We can't find west. Everything is wrong. We can't be sure of any direction. Everything looks strange, even the ocean." 5 planes and 14 experienced aviators vanished without a trace in perfect weather conditions. The disappearances that don't add up. What bothers researchers isn't just the number of incidents, it's the pattern. Captain Don Henry, who sailed through the Triangle hundreds of times, described his most unsettling experience. "I've been through every kind of weather you can imagine, but this was different. Our compass started spinning like a casino roulette wheel. Radio went dead. For 30 minutes, we couldn't tell which way was north. Then suddenly, everything went back to normal, like someone flipped a switch." Dr. Karl Kruselnitsky, who spent years studying triangle incidents, admits the core cases remain baffling. When you strip away the sensationalism, you're left with documented cases of experienced professionals with functioning equipment simply vanishing in clear conditions. That pattern doesn't match normal accident statistics.
The technology that can't explain it. Modern navigation systems have eliminated many historical causes of maritime disasters, yet unexplained incidents continue. In 2017, a Coast Guard rescue swimmer described a search operation. "We had GPS, radar, sonar, everything was working perfectly. But 3 different boats reported their instruments going haywire in the exact same spot. There's something down there that doesn't play by the rules." The bottom line, despite decades of investigation and advanced technology, a specific region of ocean continues to produce unexplained incidents that defy conventional explanation. Here's the unsettling question. If modern technology can't explain or prevent these disappearances, what does that say about forces operating in our oceans that we don't understand?
Mystery 5. The Milky Seas. When oceans become alien worlds. The night that changed everything. Captain of the SS Lima, James Robertson, had sailed the world's oceans for 30 years when he encountered something that made him question reality itself. "It was 2 a.m. when my first officer called me to the bridge," he later testified. "What I saw was impossible. The entire ocean, as far as the eye could see, was glowing like we were sailing through liquid starlight. In 30 years at sea, I'd never seen anything so beautiful or so terrifying." The scale that defies imagination. Dr. Stephen Haddock, one of the world's leading experts on bioluminescence, described his reaction to satellite images of Milky Seas. "When I first saw the data, I thought there was an error. We were looking at luminous patches covering 6,000 square miles. That's larger than the entire state of Connecticut glowing in the middle of the ocean. The scale is beyond anything we thought biologically possible." Robertson described the experience from the ship's deck. "It wasn't just the surface. You could see the glow extending down into the depths. It was like the entire ocean had become a living thing, pulsing with its own alien heartbeat." The intelligence that shouldn't exist. Here's what makes this phenomenon truly mind-bending. For Milky Seas to work, trillions of bacteria must coordinate their light production across thousands of square miles simultaneously. Dr. Haddock explained the impossibility. We're talking about microscopic organisms with no nervous system somehow communicating across distances larger than countries. It's like every ant in North America suddenly deciding to march in perfect formation without any way to talk to each other. Marine biologist Dr. Lisa Nielsen, who's dedicated her career to studying the phenomenon, put it simply: Milky Seas represent the largest coordinated biological event on Earth. We're witnessing intelligence operating on a planetary scale, and we have no idea how it works or why it happens. The bottom line,
Microscopic ocean life occasionally demonstrates coordination and intelligence on a scale that challenges our understanding of consciousness itself. This leaves us with the most profound question of all. If single-celled organisms can coordinate across thousands of miles, what does that tell us about the nature of intelligence and consciousness in our oceans? Conclusion. What you've just experienced isn't just entertainment, it's a glimpse into the profound mysteries that surround us every single day. Each of these phenomena is happening right now, while you're safe in your room watching this video. Somewhere in the depths, orcas are revolutionizing predation, ancient structures are waiting to rewrite history, and forms of intelligence we can't comprehend are operating on scales we're only beginning to imagine. But here's what really gets to me. These mysteries matter because they humble us in the best possible way. In an age where we think we have all the answers, when we believe technology can solve everything, the ocean reminds us that we're still children stumbling around in the dark, discovering that our world is far stranger and more wonderful than we ever dared imagine.
These aren't just scientific curiosities. They're invitations to wonder, to question, to realize that the most incredible discoveries aren't waiting for us in distant galaxies, but right here in the depths below our feet. Each of these mysteries forces us to confront a profound truth. We share this planet with intelligences and phenomena that operate by rules we don't understand. And maybe, just maybe, that's exactly how it should be. Which of these ocean mysteries affected you the most? Which one made you realize that our world is stranger than you ever imagined? Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. I read every single one, and your perspectives often lead us to our next deep dive into the unknown.
If this video opened your eyes to the incredible mysteries hiding in plain sight on our own planet, smash that like button and subscribe for more mind-expanding content. Hit the notification bell, because trust me, once you start seeing the world through the lens of mystery and wonder, you'll never want to go back to thinking we have all the answers. Speaking of mind-bending mysteries, if you're ready to dive even deeper into the unknown, check out our video about the most terrifying creatures that actually exist in the deep ocean. Some of them make these mysteries look like children's bedtime stories. The link is right there, and I promise you'll never look at the ocean the same way again.